With Barbie being the worldwide hit, I think it's important to talk about how to wear pink with confidence as a man. But not today. If you want to take your documentary filmmaking skills to another level, you need to start with the basics. In this video, I'll be sharing tips and tricks that I learned on my own journey, and whether you're a beginner filmmaker or experienced one, these tips will help you to make more engaging documentaries. In the last video, which you can watch right here, I covered documentary filmmaking basics, such as choosing the right character, crafting a compelling story, and being ethical. But today, we're diving deeper into actual shooting of the films, and the tips that I'm gonna share with you will be a little more practical. Before we jump into the video, let's discuss why documentary filmmaking is a great skill to have for any filmmaker. In my opinion, documentaries are a highly accessible way to hone your filmmaking skills. You don't need expensive equipment, a large crew, or big budgets to start, and interesting stories are all around us waiting to be told. Moreover, documentary filmmaking allows you to improve your skill over a variety of disciplines, such as research, interviewing, working with people, and also working with limited resources. You also get to sharpen your camera and cinematography skills, recording audio, editing, and color grading. All these skills work together to help you become a well-rounded filmmaker, which I think is extremely beneficial, especially in the beginnings of your career. On top of that, documentary filmmaking places a strong emphasis on storytelling, and storytelling, in my opinion, is one of the best skills that a filmmaker can have. Because how you tell stories is unique to you, and it can set you apart from others. Plus, storytelling is a highly transferable skill that can also be used in commercial work, in narrative films, and other genres, and even outside of filmmaking. Now that you can see why I believe that documentary filmmaking is such a good skill to have, let's talk about some practical tips that you can start applying right away to improve your next documentary shoot. Last thing before we jump into the tips, I have 3 video ideas in my mind that I would like to develop for the video that is coming in 2 weeks. And I would like to hear your opinion on which one of these ideas would you like to see the most. Number 1, my documentary camera kit. Number 2, how to move abroad as a filmmaker. Number 3, a day in life in Bali. Now let me know in the comment section below by commenting the respective emoji. And now to the practical tips. Before you start any documentary shoot, I recommend you to create a mood board to help you navigate the look and tone of the project. When creating the mood board, I always think about how do I want the film to feel? Does that feeling that I want to bring across actually aligns with the story? And does it also align with my personal style? Then I look for examples from feature films, documentaries, and commercials. I usually search for these examples in Vimeo, Netflix, or platforms such as ShotDeck and FrameSet. As it usually is with documentaries, there will be scenarios where you're not able to control the light. Maybe you will have to shoot in the middle of the day, and that's okay. You don't have to stick to the mood board the whole time, but I would still create one because it really helps you to navigate the overall feeling and look of the film, and at the end of the production you will be happy that you did it. Number 2, if possible, scout as many locations as you can prior to the filming. Take reference frames and use an app such as Sunseeker to figure out where the sun is gonna be during the day and to take the advantage of the best lighting, whether that's outside or inside. If you can't scout the location physically, maybe you can ask the character to send you some videos and photos, and maybe you can give him some guidance on how to take these videos and at what time of the day. If even that's impossible and maybe you're going to a very remote location, then I would try doing research online. You know, Google is a great tool, whether you can find images from that locations. You can also try Instagram, but on Instagram the images are often quite heavily edited. Or you can use Google Earth, which is a great tool and it gives you an idea of how the terrain looks. Scouting locations and doing research will immensely help you on the production day. It's often challenging to create accurate shot lists when working on documentary films. But if you did pre-interviews, which I recommended you in the previous video, then you might have an idea of which scenes you will be filming. So at least think about how you're gonna cover these scenes. My suggestion is to always go with the basics establishing shot, wide shot, medium close-up, and a close-up shot. This approach will provide you with a comprehensive coverage. And then you can also think about some more creative shots, such as point of view shot or extreme close-up. I recently incorporated this little cheat sheet on the back of my camera, so whenever I shoot, I have it in front of my eyes, and I make sure that I don't forget to film these shots. Number 4 is a big one. Learn to work with natural light. Personally, I feel limited by carrying around a lot of lights and stands, and especially if I'm working as a solo filmmaker or in a small team. And why should I, when the most accessible and biggest source light is always there? And I'm talking about the sun. If you can learn how to take benefit of the sun, shoot at the right time of the day, diffuse it, soften it, reflect it, cut it, extract it, and so on, you will improve your skills as a cinematographer, and these skills will be extremely useful once you actually start working with artificial lights. In order to improve your skills with natural light, I suggest you to observe it every day. See how it is falling on faces, on subjects, see what you like. Do you like it soft? Do you like harsh light? And then use some tools to work with it. Very accessible tools that can help you on your shoots are 5-in-1 reflector, cheap shower curtain, and some sort of a black fabric. I always carry these with me, and they're very lightweight and, as I said, affordable. Number 5, know your kit. Too much equipment can be a limitation in a documentary setting, and especially if you don't know how to use it. So take your time to learn the ins and outs of your camera, how to expose the image, set up custom buttons to speed up your workflow, learn how to best record audio, and make sure that the tool that you're using is almost like an extension of your body. If you're going to be using a new camera or renting a camera for a shoot, definitely make sure that you test it beforehand, because you don't want to show up on the production day and put your or someone else's project into a risk just because you don't know how to use the rented camera. And if you would like to know what is in my kit, let me know in the comments and I'll make a video about it. Number 6, limit yourself. From my experience, having too many options to choose from, whether in life or filmmaking, can be overwhelming. For that reason, I suggest you to try limiting yourself. This could mean shooting your project on only 2 lenses, or using only tripod, maybe using only handheld, or deciding on using only natural light. This could also mean using all of these. By imposing these limitations, you create a framework for yourself that you have to stick to it throughout the production. This will result into a more cohesive visual language and an improvement of your skills throughout the limitation. So definitely give it a try and let me know how it went. With every new film that I work on, I try to ask myself, why am I doing this? Why am I shooting this project only on 2 lenses? Why am I selecting this camera movement, this angle, or this lighting setup? And if I can't answer these questions, maybe it's not the right choice, or maybe I have to think about it more. An example could be choosing a low angle if you want to make the character look and feel more powerful, or chasing a high angle if you want to make the character feel and look small. Then you also have to ask, is that how the character actually feels on the inside? These are all important creative choices, and I believe that they should be intentional to support the story. If you're only choosing these lenses or this camera movement or this angle because it's cool, but it doesn't actually help the story move forward, then I would highly recommend you to rethink it and choose something that is more fitting. I'm not saying that the story and the cool cannot go hand in hand, but I believe that the story should always be on the top of your mind. Number 8, communicate with your character. Have you ever been in front of the camera and had this awkward feeling of not knowing what to do, how to move, and the filmmaker that was on the other side of the lens, instead of guiding you, was just looking down into the monitor and not really giving you any cues? Well, it feels horrible, and you don't want your characters to feel that way, so you have to properly communicate with them. You can tell them what scene you're going to be filming right now, how you're gonna film it, and what is expected from them. It could sound something like this. Now we're going to film a scene of you building a bicycle. I want you to do it as you would normally do it, and I'll just move around with the camera and get the shots that I need. This could be one very simple way to communicate, and then throughout the filming process, you can direct them even more. At the same time, you should be encouraging. Make the character feel good in front of the camera, so it is a pleasant experience rather than something uncomfortable. So one more time, remember, communicate, communicate, and communicate. And last but not least, find your own workflow. All these tips come from my experience, and as we are all constantly learning and evolving, it's possible that as I'm growing as a filmmaker, I'm gonna improve these or I'm gonna take some of these out, and I would like you to do the same thing. Try them, see how they feel, and if something doesn't work for you, then try to improve it, or maybe just throw it out of the window. So just a quick recap: create mood boards, scout if possible whether that's in person or online, put together shot lists and make sure you have enough coverage, learn to work with natural light. Very important. Know your kit, try limiting yourself in order to grow, be intentional with your creative choices, communicate with your characters, and over time build an approach that works for you. I hope that you found these short tips helpful, and if there's something that you would like me to cover in more detail, let me know and I can make a video about it. That's it for today. As always, thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next video next Tuesday. Peace.
With you, the sun is shining 24/7. 'Cause when we're together, it feels like we're in heaven. If it will get dark, you'll be my million stars. I know I can lean on you.